So, children, let's continue our civics chapter, the judiciary. So, this is our second video of our chapter. Okay. So, in our first video, we have discussed about the Supreme Court, isn't it? Where we have discussed about its composition, appointment, how judge of the Supreme Court is been appointed, its eligibility, terms, jurisdictions. In under the jurisdictions, we have discussed about the original, appellate, and advisory jurisdiction. Right. Now today we will discuss our discussion, that is we will continue our discussion with the topic, that is the High Court. Clear? Now let's begin. That is, the High Court is the highest judicial authority in a state. The Parliament has the power to establish a common High Court for two or more states. At present, there are 24 High Court in India. So children, whenever we talk about a state, what we have the highest judiciary authority, okay, in the state, that is the High Court. And Parliament of India can establish for two or more state one High Court. Okay, so in your book it is given that there is 24 High Court in India, but at present we have 25 High Court, and the 25th High Court is established in Andhra Pradesh in 2019, and its seat is at Amravati. Clear? Now let's talk about the compositions of High Courts. So every High Court consists of a Chief Justice and other judges. The number of judges is decided according to the size of the state. Therefore, the number of judges varies from state to state. As in a Supreme Court, we have Chief Justice, right? That is assisted by 30 judges. And in High Court, we have Chief Justice, and number of judges is decided depend upon the size of the state. For example, UP is a very big state, so out there the judge will be more. Okay, now next move with the appointment. Now the President of India appoints the Chief Justice of the High Court in consultation with the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of that state. Now the Supreme Court Chief Justice is appointed by the President, isn't it? So it is similar out here in High Court also. That is, the President of India appoints the Chief Justice of High Court in consultations with the Chief Justice of India and the Governor of that state. And the judges have been appointed by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, the Governor of that state, and the Chief Justice of High Court of that state. Clear? Now next comes the eligibility. Now, what are the criteria required to be the judge of the High Court? To being the judge of the High Court, he must be a citizen of India, and secondly, should have 10 years of experience as an advocate of a High Court or two or more such court in session. Understood about the eligibility? That is the criteria required for the judge of the Supreme Court. Now next is the terms. Now the judge of the High Court can serve till the age of 62, and the procedures to remove the judge is the same as that of the Supreme Court judge. Clear? Now out here, Supreme Court judge served till 65 years and the High Court judge served till 62 years. And to remove the judge of the High Court or the Supreme Court, the procedure is same, and that process is called impeachment. Okay. Now next we have the jurisdiction. Now the High Court issue rights for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Now what is rights? So in fundamental right, you all have studied Article 32. I hope so. You all have remembered, which is right to constitutional remedies, which is also fundamental right. So out here, rights are there in that constitution. Clear? Now, rights is basically what we call it a legal order, that is the prohibitions which High Court used to safeguard the fundamental rights of the people. Understood? Now, second, we have it passes rules on election, petitions, and other election related dispute. Even it hears appeal in both civil and criminal cases against the decisions of the subordinate courts and revives the judgment. and it control and supervise the working of the subordinate court. Clear? Now, next we will see the Advocate General. What we have, each state has an Advocate General who is appointed by the governor of that state. Okay, so he is required to advise the government on legal issues and perform other legal duties as assigned by the governor. His qualifications are the same as the judge of the High Court. Now, every state has an Advocate General. So, it has some criteria as a judge of a High Court. What is his work? Basically, he advises, that is, he gives advice to the state government on the matter of legal issues and dispute assigned by the governor. Clear? Now, next, we will move on to the subordinate court. So, children, we have discussed about Supreme Court, High Court. Now, we will discuss about the subordinate court. Okay? Now, subordinate court. Each state is divided into various districts, and the court which function in these districts are called subordinate court. They hear civil and criminal cases which pertain to the district in which the court is formed, and the court that hears civil case at the district level are called the district court, and those that hear criminal case are called the session court. So, in national level we have Supreme Court. In state level, we have High Court. Now, in state, we have many districts, and each district has court. So, to those court, we call as a subordinate court. Understood? Now, it deal, or we can say here, the civil and criminal case. So, that is the court that here, the civil case at the district level are called district court, and the court that here, criminal case are called the session court. Okay. Apart from this court, they have even the revenue court and the panchayat court. Okay. Now let's discuss the types of subordinate court it has. So first one is the district judge court, which is the highest civil court in the district. Okay. And in this district judge court, the case is related to the land, property, money transaction, marriage, divorce, will and guardianship. It also here appeal against the judgment of the lower court. Okay, what the decision has been given by the lower court, it used to hear that first, and after that, it used to give a decision. In some district, additional district judge assists the district judge also. Okay. Second, we have the Court of Sessions judge. It is the highest criminal court. District judge is the highest civil court, and the session judge is the highest criminal court in a district. You must have to remember all this. Okay. Now it's preside over by the district judge, who is therefore called the district and the session judge. Okay. Who preside in the court of the session judge? District judge. Clear? Now in the session court, what type of case is been deal? Criminal case of murder, dacoits and robbery are being dealt out there. The session judge here appeal against the judgment of the lower courts. Out here also same thing. Third, we have got the revenue court. Okay, and this revenue court deal with the case of related to land records. Okay, now it also assesses the collect land revenue from the landholder, and the highest revenue court under the supervision of the High Court is the Board of Revenue, which is the highest revenue court under which it comes under the supervision of the High Court is the Board of Revenue. While the highest revenue court in a district is the Court of the Collector. Clear? So revenue court deal with the case related to land records. Fourth one, we have got the Panchayat court, which deal with the civil and criminal case at the village level. Understood? In the Panchayat court, it deal with the cases that with the civil and the criminal case that is related to the village level. Now this court work under various regional names such as Naya Panchayat, Gram Kacheri and so on. There are 4 villages are clubbed together under a Naya panchayat, that is 3 or 4 village is been combined out there in the Naya Panchayat, and the sentence of the Panchayat court cannot be appealed against. They cannot appeal for it for the next time, but the parties involved can seek legal remedy in the court. Clear? To solve out their dispute. Understood about the types of subordinate court? So next we have got the Lok Adalat. Okay. Last, that is the Lok Adalat. This is very important, as the process of seeking justice is time consuming and expensive in our country. So for this reason, Lok Adalat or the People Court was set up to provide speedy justice. A Lok Adalat is presided over by a retired judge along with 2 members, usually a lawyer and social workers. Okay, so that is what is Lok Adalat. The process of seeking justice in our country is very expensive. If we will think right now, it's very expensive, and sometimes case got very delay in getting justice. That is, this is time consuming also. So for that, Lok Adalat was been formed, and it is also called the People Court. So after the establishment of the Lok Adalat, what we can see is that getting justice become very speedy. And who used to preside out there in the Lok Adalat? Who is the judge out here? The judge is a retired judge used to preside out there in the Lok Adalat. And how many member it have? It have got assist with the 2 member, usually a lawyer, and one is the lawyer and other is the social worker. Clear? And the disputing parties. So how the case has been solved? The disputing parties put forward their own case without advocate. Now the case are solved through mutual understanding and compromise. Clear? That is, if there is a dispute between the two, that is A and B, both are being messed together and both used to have the bilateral talk. That is, both of them will discuss their matter. Okay. Now after that, A or the B, they will compromise under something and they will do some mutual understanding between these 2 parties, that is A and B, and in that way the case is been solved. Okay, so there is a mutual understanding and compromise. It will not take too much time. That is bilateral talk. They used to have understanding. Okay, now appeal can be made against the order of the Lok Adalat. Now after that, if the parties A is not satisfied, then he can appeal to the Lok Adalat. Clear? So children, we have completed our chapter. So must go through your textbook. If any confusion is there in a particular paragraph, without hesitation, you just ask me, okay? Thank you.